And namaste, my friend. I'm Dr. Naina Shah, your integrative doctor. Today, I'm excited to welcome you to Chapter 3, the menstrual cycle and ovarian hormone production. Before we dive in, I want you to think about an app, something like Google Maps. It's simple and easy to use, and it's made our lives so much easier, right? But as we know, there is some serious complex programming happening behind the scenes to make it work smoothly and reliably. The menstrual cycle is much the same. From the outside, it might seem like a simple monthly flow, but in reality, it's a complex process with intricate interactions between various reproductive organs and hormones. That's why I have dedicated the next two chapters to exploring this fascinating process that keeps our periods running smoothly. And if you are dealing with period problems like PMS or painful heavy periods, the information in these chapters will give you a deeper understanding of what might be going on in your body, helping you better navigate your specific conditions when we discuss them later on. In this chapter, through dynamic diagrams, we will explore the changes taking place in the ovaries during the menstrual cycle. You have a front row seat to the action happening inside your body. We will also look at the hormones your ovaries produce as they go through these changes, breaking down exactly how they change from one part of the cycle to the next. Next, we will understand the intricate hormonal communication between your brain and ovaries. It's all about precision. By the end of this chapter, you will have a solid understanding of how your menstrual cycle ticks and how hormones make it all happen. To keep it simple, the menstrual cycle is divided into two main phases, the follicular phase and the luteal phase. Let's explore what happens in each. Alright, I know this graph might look a bit daunting at first glance, but I promise it's not as complicated as it seems. And I'm here to walk you through it step by step so you can really appreciate the magic happening inside your body. By the time we are done, you will see how these lines tell the story of your body's incredible hormone symphony. Ready? Let's get oriented first. First, let's check out the x axis along the bottom. See those numbers? They are counting out the days of your cycle, starting from day 1, which is the official first day of your period, and going all the way to day 28, the last day of the cycle, right before it all begins again. Now, I know your cycle length may vary a bit from this typical 28-day example, but we are using it to keep things simple for now. So let's get ready to explore this hormonal dance. Now, let's check out the y axis, the vertical part of our graph. Each curvy line here represents one of the star players in your hormonal orchestra, and they are produced by your ovaries and pituitary gland. We've got five key players: FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, rocking the green line like it's the VIP; estrogen, the diva of the group, glowing in yellow orange, always stealing the show; LH, luteinizing hormone, making a bold statement in red; progesterone, cool and steady in blue, keeping everything grounded; and finally, the invisible inhibin, not shown here. Think of it as the behind the scenes crew, making sure everything runs smoothly. Together, these lines show the ebb and flow of hormones, choreographing the intricate dance of your cycle. Each hormone rises and falls at just the right moment to keep everything in sync. And finally, let's shift our gaze to the top part of the graph, where the real backstage action is happening. The ovaries are busy going through their transformations during the follicular and luteal phases. This is where the magic of egg development, ovulation, and hormone production unfolds. All these elements, the hormones, the ovarian changes, everything come together to create the grand symphony of your menstrual cycle. It's like the most well coordinated, hormonally charged Broadway show your body puts on every month. So let's dive deeper and watch how this masterpiece unfolds. As shown here, at the start of your menstrual cycle, estrogen and progesterone levels are at the lowest. This lack of signals, no hormones to inhibit the hypothalamus and pituitary glands, or in other words, when the ovaries decide to take a little break from the usual negative feedback routine, the pituitary gland gets the memo to kick off a brand new cycle. It's like the ovaries saying, "Hey, we are done for now." And the pituitary goes, "Got it, let's get this show started again." So it releases follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, the hormone that starts things again. This diagram is a cross section of an ovary. It shows ovarian follicles, each at different stages of their maturation. Now, here is where our follicle stimulating superstar, FSH, comes into play. It selects about 6 to 7 of these follicles from your egg reserve. Remember, we talked about that in chapter 1. Each of these follicle contains an egg. Think of it as a friendly competition. By day 5, one follicle rises to the top, takes the crown, and becomes the dominant follicle. It's ready to steal the spotlight for the rest of the cycle. It's survival of the fittest. The dominant follicle, now feeling pretty fabulous after winning the follicle race, starts cranking out estrogen and inhibin. Estrogen, our shining star, makes its grand entrance on the graph as a yellow line. You will notice it starts to rise around day 5 or 6 of your cycle. Estrogen's rise is a sign that the dominant follicle is doing well. This is where inhibin steps in like the ultimate stage manager. It sends a stop signal, negative feedback, to the pituitary gland. This clever move stops the production of FSH, putting a hold on any more follicle recruiting. It's all about giving the dominant follicle the spotlight it needs to mature and get ready for its big moment, ovulation. Inhibin's all about keeping things orderly, making sure the show runs smoothly with just one leading egg in the limelight. Around days 11-12, the cells surrounding our superstar egg, the dominant follicle, really crank up the volume on estrogen production. This surge in estrogen is the body's way of saying we are almost ready for the main event. This peak in estrogen is like the grand finale drum roll. sending a positive feedback signal to the pituitary gland to release luteinizing hormone LH and get ready for the big moment. The surge of LH is the big moment we have all been waiting for. It triggers the final maturation of the egg and causes the follicle to burst open, releasing the egg. The grand event of the menstrual cycle, ovulation. This typically happens 12 to 36 hours after that LH peak. If you have ever used an LH test kit, you already know the secret. They are awesome tools for predicting ovulation and giving you that fertility edge. But here is the thing, ovulation isn't just about fertilization and pregnancy, it's also setting the stage for progesterone production, the unsung hero of women's health. Progesterone works alongside estrogen to keep everything in balance. And here is the kicker, without ovulation, there is no progesterone production. So, ovulation is a big deal. As we have seen in this first half of the cycle, the dominant follicle is running the show, which is why we call it the follicular phase. It kicks off on day 1, the first day of your period, and wraps up on the day of ovulation. In a textbook 28-day cycle, this phase takes up the first 14 days. The follicular phase is where both your menstrual flow and ovulation happen, and its length can vary quite a bit, anywhere from 7 to 21 days. It's often longer for teenage girls, just getting the hang of things, and tends to be shorter for perimenopausal women as their cycles start to change. So it's the phase where all the prep work and action happen, setting the stage for the second half of the cycle. After ovulation, the spotlight shifts and the once dominant follicle undergoes a magical transformation into the corpus luteum and becomes the new hormone powerhouse on the block, shown here in the diagram. This little structure takes on the crucial role of making estrogen and cranking up progesterone levels significantly. The corpus luteum is the post ovulation hero. Just to put things into perspective, did you know that during the middle part of the luteal phase, progesterone levels can skyrocket to 30 to 35 times higher than estrogen? That's right. Progesterone doesn't just show up, it takes center stage with dramatic flair. I have whipped up this diagram to give you a visual of just how impressive this hormonal difference really is. It's no surprise that progesterone takes the crown as the highest hormone produced by your ovaries. Sometimes, blood test results can be a little misleading because hormones are measured in different units. It's like comparing apples to oranges. So let's clear this. Progesterone levels are measured in nanomole per liter, while estrogen is measured in picomole per liter. So when you convert estrogen to the same unit as progesterone, you will see a big difference. At mid-luteal phase, progesterone comes in around 25 to 50 nanomole per liter, while estrogen only clocks in at about zero point 0.7 to 1 nanomole per liter. So you can see a big difference. Progesterone really is a heavy hitter in this phase of cycle. Now let's talk about how the luteal phase wraps up. If pregnancy happens, the corpus luteum sticks around like the ultimate support system. continuing to produce progesterone to keep the fetus cozy and supported until the placenta takes over at around 10 to 12 weeks. But if pregnancy isn't in the cards, the corpus luteum packs up and breaks down, causing a drop in estrogen and progesterone levels. This hormonal dip signals the endometrium, the uterine lining, to shed, leading to your menstrual flow about 14 days after ovulation. It's the body's way of hitting the reset and getting ready for the next cycle, a neat and tidy wrap up before the whole dance starts again. The luteal phase is the second part of your menstrual cycle, kicking off right after ovulation and lasting until the day before your next period. It's named after the star of the show, the corpus luteum, which takes center stage during this time. In a typical 28-day cycle, the luteal phase usually clocks in at around 14 days, but can vary anywhere from 11 to 16 days. In summary, we have explored three key processes in this chapter: the changes happening in the ovaries during the menstrual cycle, the hormones produced by the ovaries as they go through these transformations, each hormone playing its part in this intricate dance. The hormonal interplay between your brain and ovaries, orchestrating the follicular and luteal phases of your cycle. I hope by understanding these processes, you can truly appreciate the incredible complexities and precision of the menstrual cycle and how it beautifully supports reproductive health.